Days before, cameras caught all sorts of clues. Now, almost 12 years later, family members think they're getting closer to finding out what happened to the woman. Daniels was last seen at Pensacola State College in August 2013, and deputies found her car more than a week later near Fort Pickens.
WEAR Samantha Serban joins us now from Pensacola State College, where Tiffany worked. And Samantha, some new information has been uncovered in just the past couple of months.
Yes, it has. And while this may still technically be a cold case, Tiffany Daniels' mom says things are starting to heat up.
Well, Tiffany, what can I say? Tiffany was a sweet, sweet girl.
Here one day, gone the next.
She was just a pure, sweet, very innocent young lady. She just saw the good in everything, and she didn't believe there were any bad people out there.
Cindy Daniels says her daughter Tiffany was a free spirit, the artist kind. The 25-year-old always drawing, painting, sculpting.
She did this one, she did this one.
In August 2013, Tiffany left work one day at Pensacola State College, telling her boss she'd be gone for a bit. Her mom says it was to find a roommate. But that was the last time anyone saw or spoke to Tiffany. Her car found 8 days later near Fort Pickens. No sight of the young woman or sign of foul play. That is, until recently.
They recently uncovered some things that are right here in town that they're looking at.
Like within months?
Yes.
Somebody knows something. This girl didn't just disappear without someone knowing something.
Private investigator Brandy Mitchell jumped on board with the Daniels family a few years ago. She's pored over the case file, spoken with detectives, done anything she can think of to find out what happened. For the most part, dispelling the idea Tiffany was kidnapped into the human trafficking world, Mitchell has pieces of a theory.
Our team's opinion is we believe it's somebody that she knew. The things that we've seen, people that we've talked to, it doesn't seem that Tiffany just randomly ran into a stranger and then was taken. Could it be that someone was in love with her and she didn't feel the same way? And could they have done something to her, maybe in jealousy? Maybe it was somebody in her past that still wanted to be with her. We don't know.
Despite several reported sightings over the years across the country, the newest leads lead Mitchell and Mom back to where it all began.
It's really sad when you feel like you've gone around the world and you come back home and the answer is right there at the starting point. And it's really looking like that, 100%.
Can you expand on that at all?
Yes, they called people back in to have them that was helping us. We had several people helping us that were good friends of Tiffany's, and one of them lawyered up. Just like that, out of the clear blue sky, lawyered up. Now, I don't know about you, but that said a lot to me. And if you don't have anything to hide and you claim you're helping us, why are you lawyering up?
Even if this was an accident, the guilt that you might be having, come forward. If you know what happened or anything else.
After a dozen years, the Daniels family recognizes the likelihood of bringing Tiffany home alive is slim. But they don't give up hope, and neither do investigators.
We never give up. In the past, we've had people that have held information for years, many years, and at some point their conscience gets the best of them. Sometimes it's because of health reasons, sometimes they're tired of holding it in, and they contact us, and some of these cases get solved, and we're hoping that something like that may happen.
We've just got to get the information we need. Just that one little thing, as Denzel Washington says in that movie, just that one little thing we need. And I know God's gonna give it to us. I know He is.
Tiffany would be 37 this year. If you know where she is or what happened to her, call the Pensacola Police Department. I'm live in Pensacola. Samantha Serban, WEAR News.
Well, Tiffany, wow, what can I say? Tiffany was a sweet, sweet girl. Tiffany, and I'm not saying this because she's my daughter. I'm saying this because everybody that I meet tells me that she was one of the sweetest and kindest people they'd ever met. that she would give them the shirt off their back, even if she didn't have one on, she would find one to give them. So she was, we called her our free spirit, because she could be over here for a minute, oh, okay, and then over here the next minute, you know, because she was always trying to do everything, you know. She was just a pure, sweet, very innocent young lady that, you know, just was had a normal college experience and had traveled the world a little bit and come back home and decided that it's always not greener on the other side, and so she was settling down here. It's hard, you know, these kids, when at her age at that time, when they get out of college, a lot of them already have their lives. They've had scholarships or plans, or somebody's relative lives in some town that they want to go to college in, so they move to there. You know, when your friends start going off like that, it leaves some people in what I call a margin of void. Their friends have got things, but you might not have decided exactly what you wanted to do for your life, or really given it any consideration. You know, you just wanted to get through high school, that's in college, and that was it, you know. And Tiffany was one of those people that her friends were going off and doing things, and she was kind of in this void about, I don't know what I want to do for sure, you know. Her art was fantastic, but it was more of a hobby to her than it was something that would make her money. So she wasn't even interested in that part, you know. But she was just, she just saw the good in everything, and she didn't believe there were any bad people out there. And that's where a lot of us make our mistake, is because during that time, I didn't even know I needed to tell her about bad people out there. You know, I mean, there's bad people, but the type of people that or go for girls and boys and stuff, you know. So we have to remember that we got to educate our children as it comes out. Don't hide it from them.
And take me back. I just had some questions based off of the stories that I watched this morning. They were talking about when she disappeared, that she had told someone at work she was going to go away for a few days and take care of a few things.
Yes.
Do you know what that was about?
She told her boss that, well, he had told her that he wanted to help her get some of her artwork sold. And she had mentioned that she might not be to work a couple of days that week because she was concerned about getting a roommate. She had one roommate, but she needed another one, and that was been her focus for I think off and on for a long time. That's been Tiffany's biggest problem, is we were constantly having to, you know, help her get people to pay their bills. You know, she was responsible, but some of her roommates were not on time and everything. So that bothered Tiffany a lot, because she did not want us to help her. She wanted to be self-sufficient, but we demanded that she let us help her because it wasn't her fault, you know. So she was going to see about getting some roommates and do some ads. I think she probably uses she used Craigslist a lot for ads for things, and so she was going to do that. And I think she was going to check on another job, but that's not been really confirmed. Just a couple of people say, well, we think we heard she said that, so I don't know if that's really a fact or not, that she was going to check on another job. But she was definitely down in the spirits because everybody was going places and had things to do, and she didn't, and she was having roommate trouble. So she was I'm not going to say she was depressed. I'm just saying that she was not as happy-go-lucky as she had been, you know.
Because I had heard the sheriff say something like, oh, she could have gone swimming and never come back, but we don't know that for sure.
No, there were, the first things that they thought of was they tried to say it was she drowned, which unfortunately for them, I was an instructor since I've been 16 years old, and I've been around a lot of water, not down here, but I actually grew up in Kentucky, but believe it or not, our lakes are just as vicious as some of this is down here. I've drugged many lakes as a lifeguard for bodies. So we have a current that when the young man in the kayak went missing, they had a hard time finding him because there was a path where the kayakers did. but because something happened to him and the water took over, that current out there turns you the opposite way and takes you the opposite way of you would be thinking. Most people look over here, but this current out here that we have, there's a name for it. It's a weird current that we have. But Tiffany could not have swam that far. There were no clothing left on the beach, so we didn't find any clothing left on the beach. And we didn't find any clothing in the front seat of the car or anything like that. The rest of what was in the car, they didn't let us see for quite some time. And she could not, I ruled that out as a possibility that she couldn't have drowned, because she could have drowned, but she couldn't have swam far enough that she would keep. I'm sorry, I thought that was off. Oh, that thing drives me crazy. She couldn't, in my professional belief as being a lifeguard for years and studying, and the guy that was with us with the map out there and explaining it to me, she would have had to be a really good swimmer to swim that far. Now, we had a house with a pool in it, and she did swim, but she wasn't that good of a swimmer. The Gulf is a different thing. When you take on the Gulf, that's whole different. I don't swim in the Gulf. I can't swim in the Gulf. I freak out. I've been doing it for years, but I freak out because anything touches me under that water and I'm gone, you know. So I've got the FBI now on it. We've got everything going. We, unfortunately, are finding things, finding a lot of things.
You talked briefly about hope, and I picked up when you first started talking about Tiffany, you said was. Do you believe Tiffany's still with us?
We bounce back and forth on it. We'd like to say yes, but if you look at the statistics, it's usually she's in the range of the no percentage of not being to be recovered. But you know, that doesn't mean anything. There's still the possibility there's a body out there, and that's important. That's important. And I know you've been following Bonnie Bell's case, and you've seen they've had bones. They found bones just around the corner from where Danielle disappeared, and all these years, no one. And I don't want. Do I need to go to the police department every day? Kristen Brown was the chief then. Every morning on her desk, she demanded that she have the faxes that came in from all over the United States of any body parts they found anywhere. Whether they made it, they found one leg in Belize, believe it or not. She tracked those things just for that reason, just so nothing could slip through the signals. And so I said, I guess I'm going to have to start going to PPD and getting that list every day, because obviously no one's doing it, except they're not doing it at the sheriff's department, that's for sure. So I don't have any much hope that they're doing it at PPD either.
Were there no cameras anywhere that she would have driven past or anything?
The last camera on that block was really far down, and somebody said that's at the end of where Fort Pickens starts. Those pink condos over there, those last condos. No cameras. However, people staying in the hotel sent pictures of her car sitting there. We were able to obtain, but it was never followed up until we got Brandy's team on, and they went through the whole thing, and they've found things that was missed, all kinds of things.
And that's with the SOS organization?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just clarifying, you're under the impression that she was likely human trafficked?
No, not now.
Okay.
Now some of the things that we're finding out, we believe our answers are right here, and we believe it's someone that knew Tiffany.
Can you expand on that at all?
Yes. They called people back in to have them that was helping us. We had several people helping us that were good friends of Tiffany's, and one of them lawyered up. Just like that, out of the clear blue sky. Lawyered up. Now, I don't know about you, but that said a lot to me. And if you don't have anything to hide and you claim you're helping us, why are you lawyering up? So, and that's gotten dropped too. I said, I guess now if you're suspected of anything, if you lawyer up, you're pretty safe here. because that's the impression it gave me. I know there's a lot involved in the processes. Believe me, I know. There's lines you can't step over.
What pushes you to keep going through all of this?
These girls have no voice. There's no one out there doing anything, you know, and they are someone. These all are someone's brothers, sisters, mothers, you know, aunts, uncles, everything. They deserve to be found, and their families deserve answers. And we have the ability with police departments to do these things. And I really get tired of hearing some of the things that they can't do because they say, oh, well, we can't do that. Well, I had a lead in North Carolina. Oh, well, we can't go to North Carolina. Well, I can. Well, it won't do you any good because we have to hear it. So I guess no one's going to North Carolina. You know? Those are the things that get you irritated, but they keep you going because you're determined that this is not going to be the outcome. I don't ever want another family to get a phone call like I did saying she was found a year ago, but she doesn't want to come home. Oh, that just did it for me. I said, you know, there are people out there that didn't do well when their loved one went missing. Many of them. Very few of them stayed together as families. And we have made it a point to stay together to make sure that we stay with our focus, and God has been with us the whole time. If God wasn't with us, I don't think we would have made it.
When was the last break that you had when you're talking about these things that you're doing with that SOS group? Mm-hmm. How recent was that?
The bingo hall was 2 years ago, and now they've recently uncovered some things that have right here in town that they're looking at. You know, it's really sad when you feel like you've gone around the world and you come back home and the answer is right there at the starting point. And it's really looking like that, 100%. We've just got to get the information we need. Just that one little thing, as Denzel Washington says in that movie, just that one little thing we need. And I know God's going to give it to us. I know He is. We're just too close. He's just the clear blue sky. I've got people calling me and supporting me that really believe, and all of a sudden they've just taken the cause up, and they're just, you know, I just really do believe that we're going to find her or find where she is. And I just want people to understand that there's families in this town that never got what we've gotten, and it's because there wasn't a lot of it available for them. But it doesn't take much to look for them, and we stay in touch with a few of them. They'll call us and check on us every once in a while, and a couple of boys that have been gone for years, and his family keeps in touch with us, and they never look for him, not one single day. Not one single day. And that's what's hard, because they're all good. They all deserve to be found.
Well, and that's why we do this. We try to pick a couple from different areas every
Mm-hmm.
time we do a run of them,
Mm-hmm.
and just keep names out there, faces out there.
That's what you have to do. This is the time, this amount of time that's passed is the time that people do start opening their mouths, or stories get confused, or they don't get the right things out, and people start telling on people. And people die and get worried, start getting sick, and they start confessing things. It's really weird the way that, if you could only knew some of the cases that I've gotten pulled into and things that have happened. It's really sad. I really give big accolades to the people that do this, because if it weren't for you, we wouldn't have any way of getting them out there. Social media has gotten so crazy. You can't really put anything out there hardly without everything getting messed up on it already. So it's just, we only have the media to really help us. It's really all we have.